Hello and welcome to Biz, your work life sorted. I'm Em Burnham.
And I'm Lisa Lee, and I can't wait to get into this topic today because I've been on a bit of a journey with it myself. Today we're talking about stuff like personal branding and networking, and I know it can feel so cringy. It's kind of that awkward space between wanting to be known for something and not wanting to feel like you're selling yourself all the time. But this kind of work, the building relationship stuff, the putting yourself out there, making sure people actually know what you do, it's really not optional anymore.
Yeah, I struggle with this so much, and I feel like it's something that people are always surprised with that I struggle with because my whole job is being like front of camera, having my voice out there, and still I do get like every time I have to do a post about like my job or something and talk yourself up, I do get very like, oh my God, this is so cringy. Everyone's talking about me behind their back. Yeah. But we are gonna, well, Lisa will. I've just got a lot of questions.
Oh, I've got a lot of questions for you and how you feel about it too.
But we are going to show you how to actually build your personal brand and show up for yourself, still sounding like yourself, essentially.
So we're going to talk about why it matters, because if you want a promotion, like a new role or even a career pivot, anything into something different, people need to know what you're good at, what you're working on, what you care about, what you're learning, something about you. The first time they're hearing about you shouldn't be when you're applying for a job or trying to do something new.
See, that's something that I feel like when, like for me personally, while I'm working, I just assume that people know these things about me. And I feel like if I say it out loud, I'm so scared of sounding egotistical. But
know.
You're probably right. Like people have no idea unless you actually say it.
Yeah, we think that people spend a lot of time thinking about us, and they actually don't.
We've talked about this so many times. I'm like, no one's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah, and then we also assume that people can see it. So many assumptions, right? We assume people see what we're doing all the time. Like, I'm doing good work. Someone's going to notice, and my work will speak for itself, or I'll just get there eventually, and it'll happen. But the reality is that they're not really thinking about you as much as you are. And everyone's busy. Like most of our work happens in silos or Slack or just focusing what we have to do that week. So if you don't talk about it, it kind of disappears. And we've touched on this in another episode about reputation. Yeah. This is more about just kind of building your reputation in a way that you want to be known.
Yeah, it's still so hard though because and I think if you don't also talk about yourself and like constantly remind people of like why you're here at that company, so many things, like you firstly could miss so many opportunities, but also the company could miss opportunities from not leaning onto you for things that you're actually good at.
Yeah, I almost would classify it now as like there's visible work and there's invisible work. Yeah, it's like the visible work is like whatever's in your position description, like you come to work and you do X, Y, Z, and that's what you do. But there's also how you go about it, and a lot of that is the invisible work. So, for example, like we're here and we're recording a podcast together, right? That is what we do. But the invisible work is us building a relationship and understanding what each other's about and our experiences and things, and that makes what we do so much more rich and so much more interesting.
That is so true. So is it more like trying to make the invisible work visible?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it. And so often we don't invest in the invisible work because we're like, oh, that feels like a someday thing, or I'm not really looking for a job right now, so I don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it feels like it's taking away from that one deliverable I have to do, so it can wait. But I promise you, it will make your job easier in the long run. Do the invisible work.
Do the invisible work. Yeah. And then say it out loud.
And then say it out loud. And you're right, like the cringe factor, I mean, I've been there. I mean, 12 months ago, I would have said, I am not touching personal brand. I don't want anything to do with it. I set out to launch a product. It's nothing to do with me, etc. And then I started to realize I'm like, actually, people do want to hear what I'm up to. Yeah. And they want to hear from me. Not in a braggy way, like in a humble, here's some stuff that I've been working on kind of way.
I also feel like, and it's something that I've come across recently, that I do think there is a bias with women founders versus men founders. Like there's so many women CEOs and founders where I feel like they feel the need to attach their personal brand to their company. And it's like we crave that for them because it's so rare to see a woman in the highest position. So we want to know, was she like breastfeeding while she was like signing off emails?
Yeah.
Was she like picking up kids from school while she was also talking about her like manager position to employees? And it's like we crave knowing that she's going above and beyond just to make this company, and we don't do the same for a man. Like there are so many massive companies where I like can't even name a man who's the top of the chain, and with all these companies that have been founded by women or CEOs, I know everything about them.
Yeah, no, we're so interested, right? And I think a lot of that comes from past experience with going, oh, you can't have it all, and you can't do that. Like you're either a mother or you're a worker or you're this or that. It all operates in silos. So I think that's where a lot of the interest comes from. And it's not even necessarily the personal life stuff. It's more about how you think about that and why you did it and what you're doing there. So I basically went from 12 months ago going, not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole, to now every day on LinkedIn turning up and it's like, dear diary, here's a thought I had today. And you can get there, and I feel totally comfortable with it now. So I want to share that with people.
Oh, yes.
I think because some people start to lean into it when they go, oh, I need a new job now, so I probably need to like network and do those kind of things. But people can miss out on opportunities not because they're not capable, but because they're not top of mind. So some of this stuff around personal brand and networking is be top of mind for the opportunity and be visible. Not about being loud, not about self-promotion, but doing it in a way that's really true to you. So something happened to me last week where someone came up to me and they said, so those videos you've been posting, I was like, oh
no,
God.
We don't speak about this out loud.
No one I know sees them, right?
Comment on the videos.
Surely.
DM me.
And he said, this is a guy I used to work with, and he said to me, I really like them because they're actually you. I'm like, well, who did you think they were going to be? He's like, oh, I feel like a lot of people put on personas and
like LinkedIn influencers.
Yeah, that kind of thing. He's like, but that is like legitimately you and how you speak. I'm like, okay, good. So people aren't judging you as hard as you think they are.
Yeah, right.
Some people are actually just in your corner going, hey, that's pretty awesome. How can I do some of that?
When it comes to actually posting on LinkedIn, because I feel like LinkedIn has changed kind of how it's being perceived as it's evolved. Like I remember when it first started, everyone was like, oh, another social media app. And that's when I got on LinkedIn, and that's exactly how I got scouted for this role. And I've talked about that on the podcast before. And then it changed into something like really cool. Like, oh, this is a social media app that's actually helping your career and could like advance your career and you could make more money off of it. And then it turned into like more kind of Instagram TikTok-y, which became kind of like showy offy, where you're like, okay, here's everything I've done. Here's how I'm better than you. Here are all my achievements. Look how well I'm doing.
Yes.
And now it's kind of become like a bit of both, where it's like really hard to find authentic people on LinkedIn, I feel. And I feel like that's the algorithm trying to catch up with what it wants LinkedIn to be.
Yes.
And my feed is just a full mix of genuine people who are giving genuine advice and sharing like their successes, and not only sharing their successes but also how they got there to that stage. And then people who are just like literally, you can see they've just typed in a prompt in ChatGPT and they've copied and pasted it, and they've got 2,000 LinkedIn followers from it.
So many M dashes in it.
So many M dashes. And it really sucks because I love the M dash so much. And now I've just avoided it at all costs.
Yeah, so this is why people get put off, exactly what you're describing, right? Because they can't see what they want to be, and like there's not that authenticity coming through. I mean, there are a couple of really great people that I follow, and I love getting their content and things like that. If you go, well, what should I share and what's relevant there? Yeah. And how should I do that? And so you get confused between, am I trying to tell people how to get 90 leads in 90 days, or like, you know, that kind of like spam that exists on there? Or am I sharing too much that doesn't feel very like worky? What do I do?
Or am I just posting for the sake of posting?
So then you do nothing.
Yeah.
But the push comes to the shove when you go, actually, I feel like pivoting my career into this space, or I want to actually go for that job, etc. And no one knows who you are. And I think it's really important. We'll get into this later. There is a stat going around that something like 70% of the jobs in Australia are taken on the hidden job market. And what that means is that if you and I are in each other's network and I'm running this business and I have a social media role coming up, I'll be like, oh, I know someone who'd be good for that. I'm going to reach out to Em. Exactly what happened to you on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Why do I even need to bother advertising it? So that's a wild stat, right? 70% of jobs are happening through the hidden job market.
Yeah, wow.
Not advertised. So this is why we need to start talking about ourselves. Yeah. You want to grow, you want to shift, and you want to like lead people and get them seeing it. So not in this showy way, just in a clear, consistent way. And you can do it in a way that sounds like you too.
Okay, how do I do this?
Okay,
I'm so excited.
What's
my first step?
So we'll get into that.
Okay.
I think first let's talk about the cringe, because that's the biggest part you have to get over first. If we don't get over the cringe, then we can't get to the steps, because you're going to ignore my steps. We're going to work through the cringe first.
Okay, let's work through the cringe together.
Okay.
I'll embody that man who asked you about your videos.
My one fan.
No, you have so many fans on LinkedIn.
Oh God. So I reckon it's worth touching on my personal experience with this, which I alluded to earlier, right? When I launched Learner, sorry, I'll say that again. When I launched Learner, I wanted nothing to do with personal brand. I thought it was so fake. I thought it was nothing to do with the product that I was doing. I thought it wasn't important.
Like it wouldn't impact it. Yeah.
Like you, I was like, what is this stuff out here, and how does it actually have an impact?
And then seeing the LinkedIn influencers, like, I don't want to be that.
No, either. And it felt, the thing that jarred with me the most, and I think that's where people feel a lot of ick, is the self-promotion part. It's like, look at me, here's what I've done, here's what I'm doing. So it was real hard no. So this idea of personal branding, I equated it with bragging.
Right, yeah.
And so of course I'm going to feel ick about it, right?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people do.
Yeah, I don't want to brag. What changed for me is someone said to me, it's not about self-promotion, it's about idea promotion. And you have ideas you want to share, right? Like you have ideas around why you wanted to create Learner, and what your experience has been in certain levels, and your experience at work, and you're really passionate about that. I can see that when we talk. I'm like, yeah. So that whole mental reset of like, this is idea promotion, not self-promotion, gave me that first step to go, okay, I'm going to start dabbling now, and I'm going to share a couple of ideas I have that aren't about me, but are about some of my experiences and some of the things I've done.
And then how did that go?
Well, to start with, I'm like, I would post something, tell everyone I knew to like it, so I had some kind of validation.
Yeah, nice.
And then I'd be like, okay, nothing bad happened.
I'm still alive.
Okay, I'm still alive.
My pulse is still ticking.
Yeah, okay. And then people started reaching out to me to like want to have conversations about this kind of thing, and started expanding on it. And I built this really great network of people around me that work in the people culture workspace that I can now riff ideas with. Like I have actual like Instagram and LinkedIn friends that I've now met in real life that we riff with. Yeah.
Like back in the MySpace days.
Yeah. And I think the good thing about LinkedIn is that no one goes on and shit cans each other. Like it's quite a polite platform.
It is. Yeah.
So it's a pretty safe place to start. When I shifted into like sharing my ideas, like that was the real click moment. And I just started slowly building from there. And it became, what I care about, what I'm learning as well. That's not self-promotion, because we're all a work in progress, right? And it made people want to connect with me and talk to me a bit more, and me with them too. There's only win-win in that.
That is really interesting, because I think what you're saying is like your end goal for LinkedIn is so different to what I assumed everyone else's LinkedIn end goal was. And yours is like to develop those connections, to connect with like-minded people, and like see how the community can like lift your career and vice versa. Yeah. Whereas like I would go into LinkedIn and be like, oh, they just want like 20,000 likes and comments and people to like affirm that they're doing a really, really good job. Yeah. And that for me was like, I don't ever want to do that.
No. I mean, look, let's be honest. We all want a little bit of validation if we're going to throw something out there. Yeah. Like
all my posts are only validation. It's like, look, I won this award. I got this promotion. Thank you so much.
I'll like it. And we'll go from there. And you're like, okay, it doesn't feel as ick now. But if you started sharing something, Em, around like, hey, I've been working on this new podcast and here's some things we've noticed and here's some trends. Like, does anyone have any ideas around what they've seen, etc.? And you invite people into the conversation. Yeah. That's when it starts to feel a bit more collaborative and a bit more connection based rather than just about me. It's about everyone else as well.
Yeah. I love that idea.
So a bit of a reset. Just remember, it's not about selling yourself. Like you're just going to let people in a bit, build your network, because you never know where an opportunity can come from. Yeah. If you're visible and people know what you care about, then they're going to be like, oh, I should have a chat to Em about that. She might know someone or have seen something recently to be interesting. And it works like that.
Okay. I think I'm ready.
So we're over the ick?
I think, I'm 100% over the ick.
Yeah.
I think you just cemented that, like, there's not every LinkedIn person is the same.
No, they're actual real normal people. And do you know what? Some of them are so funny. I'll give you a list of great people to follow.
That's the thing. I think because I started, and so many people started on LinkedIn in its prime, which was like probably, I want to say 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And then it just also became about building connections and seeing how many connections you have. So I have connections with people who I will like never speak to in my life, who are in just completely different industries. We have nothing in common. And then I just think I need to rejig my algorithm for me to teach it exactly what I want from my LinkedIn.
Yeah, once you do that, I actually find it really enjoyable to go on.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I have some good lols.
We should just like scroll your LinkedIn together.
yeah. I'll give you all the people to follow. You're like, okay, now we're good now. We've taught it what it actually needs. So the initial cringe is really normal, right? And I think it's the this gap between like what you value and how you think you're supposed to show up.
Yeah.
Versus how you actually are. Just be that person. Please don't get ChatGPT to write something for you. Think about conversations you've had. This is where so many of my posts come from. A conversation I've had with someone, like I was talking to this leader the other day. They said XYZ. Here's what I thought. What do you guys think? And it all comes from there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually quite simple.
Super simple. You get inspiration everywhere. One of my biggest barriers was like, I don't know what to write about and I don't know what to say. And what do I even stand for? Don't go there. Like, let's not like spiral and go like, this is like full personal brand. Like, what do I stand for and what are all the things? Just think about an experience and what you've got to bring to the table, something you've noticed recently, and then you could just put a little bit of that out there and get over the ick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say you're on board now. I feel like you're on board.
I'm on board. I'm ready to start working on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you're going to show up a bit more. You're going to become a little bit more visible or do the invisible work to become more visible.
I feel like I'm not ready to do a full post just yet.
Okay.
I think I want to be more like, let people know I'm on LinkedIn without actually saying.
Yeah, you want to contribute.
I want to contribute.
That's okay. Contributing is really good. And that's like a great first step. Here's a couple of things that worked for me at the start. And they were all very like simple, small moves.
Okay.
That didn't feel gross.
I love how you're like on your tiptoes, like talking to me. You're like, don't freak out. Here's how we're gonna
honestly,
start.
It gives me like this visceral reaction thinking about how I felt then, like, and the cringe in my gut when I'd like post something and I feel like semi-sick about it and then move on. And now there's no.
And now you're a legend at posting. Like your posts are so good. If you're not following Lisa on LinkedIn, you're doing something wrong. You're probably the only person I'm following on LinkedIn that actually makes sense that I'm following.
Oh, good. I was in one of. I was like, shit, which bucket am I falling into that she's talking about? Oh my gosh. So we're gonna like gradually build your visibility over time.
Yeah.
And I said this at the start. This is really important because no one sits in a role for 30 years. You are going to have different roles over your career, and that might be in the same industry or it might be in a totally different industry altogether. You got to start chipping away at that and working on what that is and building those connections. So a couple of low effort, high impact ways, which we like these kind of things. First one is like comment on a post.
Okay.
So find a couple of people that you like. You're like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. I like what they're posting about. They're not trying to sell me anything. Comment, share your take, 2 sentences. And that gets it in and gets it visible with the author, and you can start to feel okay with like posting. So don't just like stuff, like share what you've experienced on that.
Okay.
I think something else you can do is tell someone outside of your team what you're working on. So, you know, this week I'm working on X because of Y. We talked about this in an episode around just broadening your exposure. Now, what we're talking about here, we've dabbled in like the personal brand, LinkedIn-y kind of space for work. But this is also about networking.
Yeah. It's so easy to get siloed in like, because I also thought when I had like all these randoms on my LinkedIn, I was like, oh, I just need to find other people in media. I only need to connect with people in Mamamia or other media organizations. And then I feel like that's where you get trapped.
Yes, yeah. And you have your blinkers on almost. Like people even do this in organizations and go, oh, well, it's just about me and my team and these 10 people and that's all that matters. Yeah. It's like, what about the rest of the business and what you're working on and understanding what they need? Because you might work with them on a project. Could be good to get to know them, relate, etc. Yeah. We're just going to make time for that kind of work.
Yeah.
Be visible. Pass something on. I think this is really easy. You touched on this before. We all read books, listen to podcasts, check out articles, etc., and go, oh, that was actually helpful, and text it to a friend or send it to them on Instagram.
I love doing that.
Yeah. You're like, hey, this is so cool. Just share it more broadly.
Yeah.
I saw this, thought it was really cool. This is one of the things I did often actually at the start was like listen to podcasts and go, here's a couple of people I like following. Here's a couple of podcasts I found that are really helpful in this space. And people love that stuff because they're trying to uncover what's interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do a little bit of that. So just share on. It's not about you. It's just about something you've found and you've learned recently. So that's helpful.
It's not about what you stand for.
Nothing. It's not about your personal brand. It's just about something you're interested in, which actually goes a bit of a way in saying a bit about you. Yeah. Yeah. And keep in touch with people who already rate you. Okay. So what I mean by this is like we all work at other jobs and or have worked in different industries or with clients, etc. Keep in touch with them.
Yeah, right.
It's like, hey, what are you working on? How's things going? Just thought I'd touch base. You don't have to have a meeting. You don't have to have a coffee. Just send them a little message going, great to see what you're working on, etc. at the moment. It's just keeping.
What does that do?
Just keeping those connections alive.
Yeah.
So, for example, I met with someone, Luke, the other day, who I used to work with about 6 years ago, who works in the digital space. And we just like riffed on ideas. He's like, I've been working on this kind of thing. Have you considered this? Like, I've been working on this. Have you considered that? Etc. So just a sharing of ideas.
That's so interesting.
And now we're both very top of mind for each other. So the other day I referred someone on to him. I said, oh, you might want to meet Luke and work with him. And he did the same for me. Neither of us asked for this, but we were both very top of mind because we were keeping interested in what each other was doing.
Oh, that's really intriguing.
And like, remember, they already rate you because they've worked with you. So you've got credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way more comfortable having a casual chat with someone than an interview.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? Like if you were, you're running this podcast, Em, and you're interviewing me, isn't it better that we've had a few casual chats along the way and you kind of know what I'm about?
Yeah.
Rather than me going, okay, ready to interview. What's your first question? It's the first time we meet.
And I also feel like with interviews, when you go down that strategy, someone always expects an outcome from it.
Yes.
Whereas if you're just having a casual catch up and you're just messaging someone to check in,
yeah,
neither of you are expecting anything out of that conversation. And like, it's good if something does happen, but there's no pressure for something to happen.
Yeah. So I ask you, what's more cringe? Like connecting with people, networking like that, maybe posting something you've liked on LinkedIn, or sitting through an interview with someone and it's the first time you've met them and you're just there to impress in that one single moment.
Yeah, that's so true.
I feel like it's the latter. So those casual chats are really good. I mean, it's often the first point in time. Like if I'm talking to a girlfriend or something and they're going, I'm not sure if I like my job, I might look around, like maybe I'll get something else in 6 months. The first thing I always say is like, start reaching out to people who you used to work with, who you know, grab coffee, just check in.
Yeah.
Just kind of build that momentum up. It's a good one for networking. And I think just build a tiny like habit or commitment out of this for yourself, because we can all get trapped and lost and busy in the visible work. So you can go, what's one invisible piece of work I could do this week? Whether it's like reach out for a casual chat, just drop them a DM, share one podcast I've listened to, probably this one.
And definitely this one.
Definitely this one. And put it out there on LinkedIn. You go, okay, I feel good about it. I'm like kind of chipping away at it and I'm keeping my work open.
Oh, that is such good advice. Do the invisible work.
Yeah. The invisible work, so important. The relationship stuff, I can't even tell you. I mean, we chatted about it in another episode on, understanding different people. I think relationships are so important and we get so busy at work and caught up that we forget to spend the time with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is now my favorite part of the episode. And a lot of people, we've actually got messages saying this is everyone, like a lot of people's favorite part of the episode.
We're making you listen to the end.
We're making you listen to the end, and also you just want something really quick and easy. You're my kind of people. So it is time for OUT, which is an acronym. It's not just get out. It stands for one useful thing. Lisa, this is your kind of brainchild. Like you made OUT. And
I
I'm
love
just
OUT.
Pretty much taken credit for the definition of it.
This is ours, Em. OUT is ours.
So I've got an OUT today. Mine is something you said right at the beginning of the episode. People need to know what you're good at, what you're working on, what you care about, what you're learning. And I feel like that phrase has just stuck in my head because it's the catalyst of everything else. Like when I ask myself these questions at work, it reminds me that, oh, I should probably tell so-and-so I'm doing this. Oh, I should probably post on LinkedIn that I'm doing this. And it also reminded me that, like what you said, and it when making connections with other people outside of your network, I feel like when you're constantly progressing in work and building your career, you forget that you probably have a whole list of skills that you haven't tapped into for years.
Yeah.
And I think about this all the time because now I'm an associate editor, so I do a lot of writing and a lot of podcasting. I spent 6 years working in audience development and social media.
Wow.
And I forget that I have that skill set. And that's something that I always try to bring up at work, outside of work. So I feel like when we were talking about LinkedIn and what to post, I really want to hone in on that skill set.
Yeah.
To just show my connections that, yes, podcasting and writing are my passion projects. I love doing it, but I can also do this.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, also that particular skill would make you better at what you do, right? Because it brings a totally different lens to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more about that. Like, I want to hear about that after this, and I want you to start posting about it.
We can work on my first LinkedIn post together.
Write it together. Dear Diary, here are my thoughts for today. I hope it starts with Dear Diary, because it feels like that's what some people's posts are. I think commit to just doing one little thing as well, and that is like reach out to someone you used to work with, have a casual chat, or share a podcast or an article you've seen this week.
So simple,
and it starts to show people what you're interested in.